Let's try out and play with the new Sephora Reveal the Real Skin Tint. I'm so excited. This is not a first impression. I've tried it yesterday and I will give you my thoughts today on what I think about it. And I want to try it on camera with you guys to see as well. And I'm also going to compare it to the Clinique one, Fenty Beauty one. Not sure if they're all the same, and the MAC Studio Radiance, but these are kind of the most similar ones in packages as well, and their skin tints. So let's try this one out today. So I'm going to use all the products for the rest of my products that I have in my collection. This is the only new product that I have in today's video. But again, let's not forget of what we own already. Also, this is a different camera angle. I hope you guys like it. I took the camera off of my ring light, which was too high, I felt. And I have it mounted on my desk. So you guys are a little bit closer. I hope you guys can hear me well, and I hope that you like this angle. I like it because I can just turn it this way if I want, or more this way, and it's just, I can do a little bit more angles with it this way. Anyway, so I'm gonna go with something that I know that every foundation looks great on top, and that is my Supergoop sunscreen. I love this one so much. This is the one that is in 71 milliliter. I used to have a bigger one. I finished that one, so I purchased this one. I am going to add this as kind of sunscreen and primer at the same time, because that's all I use every day. I don't really use a primer. If I were to say skip something in your makeup, and also don't need to purchase primers, do not need to buy primers unless you like them, unless you notice that they do something for you. I've noticed for me it doesn't really do anything. Grippy primers and foundation lasts on my face with or without pretty much the same. I don't see a difference. There could be a difference, but I don't notice it. So I hope you guys like this lighting. I have kind of like a window here, and I turn off my light because I've noticed that it could be too, let's try this one, it could be too washed off. If not, I turn my ring light on more. Let's get to the clip where I can tell you more about this foundation. So this is the Sephora Reveal the Real Soft Radiance Skin Tint. It retails for $29. And the shade I picked up is 100N Fair. It's light coverage, a radiant finish, vegan, fragrance-free, a natural finish. It's a lightweight serum-like texture skin tint that offers the perfect combination of a radiant blurred finish with rapidly correcting the appearance of uneven skin tone. That's the shade I have, which is 100N Fair. Now I'm very tanned on the hand, so this is gonna work really good on my face. And it's good for normal, dry, combo, and oily. You can apply it with your fingers and massage it into the hand, or you can use a brush, a sponge. So we're gonna put this to the test. And for fuller coverage, you can add additional, but we're not gonna do that. So again, keep in mind that my hand is really tanned. I just came from vacation. This is pretty lightweight with buildable coverage, which is good, and leaves the skin radiant. So let's put this to the test. $29 for this foundation is not bad. It looks tiny, but it is the same amount they normally get in any foundation or skin tint. This is the 30 milliliter, which is 1.01 fluid ounces. Okay, very similar packaging to the Clinique Even Better Glow, one of my favorites. I think they might have discontinued this, or it's packaged differently, but if you get the Clinique Even Better Glow product, I think that you would love this so much, because I love this for dry skin. Also, Fenty Beauty, I will try swatch them on my hand. My hand is quite tan compared to my neck and face because we just came from vacation. But let's give it a try. So let's put the Fenty. This is in the shade 2. I do love the packaging on the Fenty more. It doesn't seem for it to come out. Like after I squirt it out, you see it's pretty clean. Now this is in the shade 2. Let me do the Sephora Reveal so you can see the packaging is a little bit thicker at the top. I'm going to put this here so that we can see it at the end. So we have the Fenty here, and this is the Sephora one. You notice that with the Sephora one, I went quite a bit lighter because I usually tend, oh, the Clinique one is kind of air bubbling out. I went lighter because I've noticed that I keep picking out light shades, and light seems too kind of dark for my face, so I think I have to go with fair. So I tried fair, really liquidy. This is the MAC Studio Radiance Face and Body Foundation. You can see, very interesting how they're all different shades. Okay, so we have the Sephora one, which is the new one, and it's in the shade 100N Fair, which is pretty much the lightest. Then we have the Eavesdrop by Fenty right here. And this is in the shade 2. Then I put the Clinique in the shade CN28 Ivory in the middle, which is more grayish. And then the MAC in the shade C1 right here. So they're all skin tints. They all blend into almost nothing, but they're buildable. They provide enough coverage. So you can see how they look blended. And then here it is. Yeah. Again, ignore the tan. It makes it look much lighter. But this is what they look like. They're all pretty hydrating. So let's put this to the test. Okay, so I know some of you like to use this with your hands. Let me look for my brush. I'm going to use with the hands on one side with the fingers. And then on the other side, I will use this cute little Nude Sticks Blend and Buff brush and try it out. And then kind of blend it all afterwards with a dampened sponge. So you're supposed to give it a good shake so that everything blends together inside. Let me clean my hand. So you can see it hasn't oxidized at all. It's still pretty light right there. And I have tried it on my face. I'm actually happy. It's scary at first because it does look light, but because it's a skin tint, kind of blends into your skin like cream. So be careful because it's going to be a little bit messy. Okay, so I'm going to squirt a little bit out. So you can see this is the consistency. Liquidy but thick. It's not, okay, so maybe that's too much. I just want to do one side though. And then the rest I think I'm going to put on the brush. So on this side, I'm just going to use my fingers and just massage it like this. So you can see it does feel kind of like cream, barely any coverage. And I am not going to add any concealer today because I want to see how this looks. I'm not going to do a wear test. It's just a skin tint, but I want to see if it's worth the money or not. Now, I do have dry skin, mature skin, and also coming from Florida, my skin has been quite dry, more dry than usual. I have exfoliated, so that's good, but yeah. Okay, so this is the side with just the fingers. Not bad, so you can see the difference. So it's not too big of a difference in color, but again, I'm a little bit tanned, so keep that in mind. I'm very light, kind of like here usually, but this is the side with nothing on it. You can still see some imperfections. And then this is the side with the skin tint, which gives it a very nice, very light glow, not too glowy and oily. I think it looks really pretty, right? Very hard to tell because it's a skin tint. But let's go ahead and apply on this side with a brush and see if we see a difference in coverage. I'm going to use this Nude Sticks brush. And I have not used this with a brush yet. So let's just push it into the skin. It looks like with a brush, it gives it more, there's more coverage. Like it doesn't blend into the skin the way it did here when we massaged it. But it will eventually. I should just do the eyelids as well. I want to show you, I also picked up actually, okay, so it was our 19th wedding anniversary for me and my husband, and I also picked up a perfume, which is in the background right there. See that shoe? If you know, you know what that represents, but I will show you what it is because that's one of my new favorite perfumes. I'll show you in a second. So, okay, what do we notice? Definitely more drier with a brush than with the fingers, but I am not going to judge it based on that because even my most glowy and favorite foundations that I own have looked a little bit drying on my face just because I am still tanned and my skin is still very tight and kind of like peeling and all that. So I'm going to go with the sponge now all over to blend it in. Yeah, definitely more glowy and hydrating looking if you blend it with your fingers. You can see right here with a brush, maybe it provided a little bit more coverage and that's why it's not as glowy. But it's just a very nice, so again, I'm not going to judge it based on how my skin looks because I know my skin is just still recovering from the sun. From the way my skin looks, I think that this looks really, really good and it feels good. It doesn't feel tightening on the skin. It feels lightweight. It's not sticky at all. And I think the shade is good. It's 100 and fair. I'm happy I didn't go any darker because I tend to go, like I said, into the light shades, light neutral, and that seems too dark sometimes for me. And I'm like, I already have enough darker ones. I can go with this light one. Worst case, I can mix them or bronze. But you can see that it matches really good, right? Yeah, it doesn't look drying. You can still see my freckles and imperfections, but with a hint of coverage, not as prominent as before. I think it looks really good. Okay, let's have a coffee break. Let's talk about my perfume while this foundation sits a bit. Look at this. Isn't this pretty? You guys know what perfume this is? This is an actual perfume. Like you push here for the sprayer and it comes out here. But here's the logo, here's a hint. Let me know. Okay, so this is the Eau de Parfum Very Good Girl by Carolina Herrera. I will put, or Herrera, I don't know if you pronounce the H. I will put the notes of the perfume right here for you guys so you can have a look. This is the 50 milliliter. It was at Sephora. You can purchase it. I'll link it down below. It's quite expensive, $175, but it's Eau de Parfum, and this is the one perfume that actually I've noticed that does last all day long into the second day, and it still smells. So I'm just gonna put some here. So I've noticed, especially if you put it on the wrist, you can smell it the next day, right? Because your arm is always in front of you. The neck, if someone smells you, it does smell even the next day, and it's such a beautiful smell. But look at the beautiful gold heel. It's like stiletto, so pretty. The red and the black, just beautiful. Yeah, so that's what that is in the background. Okay, so now that the foundation has set, it feels great on the face. Since it's summer, I have been into more cream products, especially now that my face is so super dry. So I'm gonna go with my Patrick Ta bronzer, and I'm gonna go in the shade She's Sculpted, and I'm gonna go into the cream one. I think the cream one is such a pretty shade. I'm gonna use my Makeup by Mario F4 brush, which is this small brush, and bronze up the face a bit. So I've been very gentle to my skin on my face. Like even now, I'm just barely touching, almost kind of like painting on the face, because you know my face is quite suffered from the sun. And I did put sunscreen. I didn't get burned, right, on my face, but the sun in Florida was so hot that there's like no escape when you're outside and you walk around and you visit places, which I love. I love the sun and I love the heat. But see, this skin tint, you can just bronze up your face and you bring a little bit more color into your face, and it's not as fair and as scary as it looked when I applied it on my tanned hand. But if you are more on the light side, then go with the light neutral. Like if you're still fair towards light, or if you like, or if you do tan usually, then obviously there's a lot of shades to choose from. But $29 when I saw that, and it's made in Italy, I thought that's a great deal. And I love because it's super vacation friendly. Yeah, definitely use your hands. It shows a little bit more, kind of like a moisturizer with a hint of color. And if you use your brush, it's a little bit more coverage, and it's not as glowy, I've noticed. For the blush, again, Patrick Ta, and I want to go in with this pink one. This is in Just Enough, and I'm going to go in with only the cream side. It's so pretty. It actually matches my scrunchie. You see that nice pink baby? I mean, it looks quite intense, but again, I cannot swatch anything on my hand because it's just so different than my cheek. But it's a nice, beautiful, light baby pink. So for that, I'm going to use the same brush, but the opposite side, which is this more bigger side. And I find it that applying a blush with this side of the brush, it just hugs your cheek so perfectly and applies the blush exactly where it needs to be applied. So something that I do want to stock up on, if like when the Sephora sale comes, this brush, I want another one, and another one of this by Hourglass. These are my favorite brushes, and that's all you need. You can use this for foundation, for cream products, cream bronzer, cream blushes, and you can use this for all powder products. Powder blush, powder bronzer, powder, highlighter, anything. Okay, so I'm going to leave it very lightweight because again, this is a skin tint. We want to keep everything light. And then for the eyes, I was thinking of Makeup by Mario and go into a, just want to use this for a transition shade. And I don't know which one. Maybe this one right here. I'm going to go with a BK Beauty 201, which is this big fluffy brush. And let's make sure, I'm not going to prime my eyes. We did add this foundation to the eyes and that's good enough, I think, right? So I'm just going to use this shade only as a transition and to add a little bit of color here. Something simple we're going to do today on the eyes, but I'm going to use a product that I haven't used in a while. I really hope this lighting is good for you guys. Let me know. Also the angle. I really love having the camera here right in front of me and not on the actual ring light because I feel like I can just adjust it and manage it better than having it on the ring light where you can't do anything. Just zoom in and out. Here, I can show you what I mean because I always like to see when people talk about like their setup. I will show you here. So you see, this is what I see right now. So it used to be right there before and now I have it like on this tripod. I turned this light off because it's too bright. I have the window there, but yeah, that's what I see. Isn't that funny? I really like to see when people talk about their setups and they explain it, but they just get you curious and then they don't show you. I'm like, please show me what you're talking about. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that little view of what I see. Let's move on to this product, which I haven't used in a while. And this is the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize in the shade Champagne, which is the lightest one I have. This is so pretty. So I'm just going to use my finger and just put this all over the eyelid. I forgot I have this ones. I've been into the Bobbi Browns a lot, so I forgot about this ones. Like, look how pretty this is. Very lightweight and brightening your eye. I love that. Of course, you can use a brush. I'm going to use this MAC 239S brush, which is more of a flat brush, and blend this on the eyelid better. So, should we leave the eyes like this, or should we add a little bit of liner to define them? Maybe we should leave it super clean like this, because with a skin tint, you want to have nice, brightening, clean eyes with a very soft face. Okay, so yeah, I think this is good. I'm going to go ahead and just apply mascara. It's going to be the same one, the L'Oreal Panorama Mascara, and enjoy this intermission, and I'll be right back with lips and final thoughts on this foundation. Okay, so here is the final look. What do you guys think? Let me put my hair up. Okay, so I think that everything looks very lightweight and natural and flowy and beautiful and summery, and something that anyone can achieve. Again, you don't need to go buy all of these products to achieve this look. It's very simple with anything you own in your collection. This is a long wear and 12-hour hydration, it says. The longer it sits on the face, the more I like it. So let me put it that way. It actually looks beautiful. It looks natural. It doesn't look too glowy. It looks radiant enough. It's just stunning. But those are kind of like from what I see right now. As you guys can see, I think it looks beautiful. But let's finish the lips and then we'll continue talking about it. So I'm going to choose my Huda Beauty Lip Blush. I haven't used this one in a while, so you can use this on lips and on your cheeks as a blush. And this is in the shade Rosy Kiss. So it has a very nice doe foot applicator, which you can actually use to create a lip liner as well. So let's apply this. It stains your lips and it just gives it that nice healthy rose to the lips without making them too, it doesn't provide much hydration. So if you want, you can leave your lips like this. I think it looks really nice, but I can add a little bit of my Dior Lip Glow Oil, and this is in the shade Raspberry. Yeah, I got it, it's raspberry. Just a little bit in the middle here, just to add a little bit of hydration. Now, this product doesn't dry up your lips as well, so don't get me wrong. It's just, it doesn't provide that look that your lips are oily and hydrated. It just stains your lips in a nice way. Okay, now we can move on to final thoughts on this skin tint. If you like more coverage foundations, or if you have more imperfections on your face, maybe this is not the right product for you because it doesn't provide as much coverage. I don't know if it will cling to any dry patches if you have. From what I see, even though my skin has been kind of drying from the sun, it actually looks really nice and hydrating from what I see now. I don't see any dry patches. I don't see it. Makes my skin pretty healthy. That's what I'm thinking. So this is probably very similar to, I would say, maybe the Clinique one. I think the Clinique one has more of a glow, has a little bit more hydration in it than this one, but they're pretty similar from what I've noticed. I think I haven't, this is more sheer. I think the MAC one compared to this one seems a little bit more sheer. And the Fenty one, I have not used this one in a while, but I can really compare it. I think they seem similar in coverage. I think the coverage is probably the same as the Fenty one right here. And I think the glow as well. It's very hard to pinpoint exactly which one this one feels like more, but I'm happy I have this in my collection. It's very easy to travel with. I love that, and I love that it says 12-hour hydration. Now again, it's not 12-hour of staying on your face, right? Of wearing it. It's 12-hour hydration. It is considered a long wear skin tint. I will continue using this, and you guys will see my reaction and my thoughts in future videos. But what I see right now, I'm really loving it. And for $29, if you want to try a skin tint from Sephora, this is perfect to pick up, because I think everything else that I have here in skin tints are over $29. So keep that in mind. Anyways, that's it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and the final look. I really am loving it. Now I'm gonna get ready to go to the movies. We're gonna go see Despicable Me #4 in 3D with my daughter, and I cannot wait to see you in my next one. Love you guys. Bye.